Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we are also going to talk about this new Ork Boy. It is confirmed there are new Ork Boys. So last week we saw a little picture on the back of a Gaunt's Ghost box that showed some Orks facing off against some Cadians, with the upgrade sprue, of course. And we kind of took a look at that. I spent quite a while going through the existing Ork range trying to find stuff that matched it, and nothing did, and the consensus was probably new Ork Boys. And I would love to say I was right. You doubted me and I was right. But actually, most of you were absolutely on board with the suggestion that either new Ork Boys or possibly an alternate build for Beast Snaggers, although that one seemed a bit more unlikely because of how totally different the upper halves were, the torsos. But we do now have that confirmation that, new Ork Boys are on the way. Now, I'm assuming that they'll come in both flavours. You'll be able to give them shooters or you'll be able to give them choppers and sluggers. I'm assuming that's going to be the case. Could be wrong. Maybe Beast Snaggers are going to be the main focus for close combat. I don't know. We'll see. It would be weird. It would be weird, I think, for them not to have the option for both, kind of fly in the face of what the Orks have had for 22 years. So let's just remind ourselves of the age of the current Ork Boys box. So we've got the lads here. Let's just remind ourselves of the age of these venerable lads right here. So this kit was first introduced in 1999 during 3rd edition, and they have been pretty much unchanged except for the addition of an extra sprue in 2008. But the base kit for the Ork Boys has been in service for just shy of 22 years at this point. And you know what? I already know there are going to be some of you who are looking at the new blood, the new lad on the block, and thinking, but he doesn't match my older ones. He doesn't match the current ones all that well, to be honest, because he's wider, he's taller, he's definitely taller. When we saw the little potato can picture, clearly taller than a guardsman by what looked like a significant margin. Although it was potato cam and the angle was a bit weird, so maybe not as giant as they first seemed, but there's definitely a bit of height going on there that is lacking off these lads. But I think it's fair to say that after 22 years, these are kind of due an upgrade. They're kind of due a new kit. There are aspects of this kit that we've talked about before. I'm not going to go into it again because otherwise we'll be here for another 9 minutes or whatever. But this is a kit that, whilst it has its place and it's, I would argue, unavoidably iconic, largely because it's been around for a significant chunk of 40k's life. It was introduced in 3rd, and it has been in the game since then. It's impossible not to feel some level of, even if it's just familiarity with it, it's impossible not to, because it's been around for so damn long. But all things eventually must be updated and improved, and I like this new lad a lot. I like it a lot. There's a nice presence to it, stands a little bit taller, the legs aren't splayed quite as far apart. It's, of course, impossible to tell the state of the arse on this particular Ork without spinning him round, which we currently can't do, obviously, but he seems to be standing straighter. He seems to be more in line with what we've seen from the Beast Snaggers, with a bit of a straighter spine and the backside not doing the permit work. And interestingly, there is a bit of a difference with his face. Now, at first I was like, is there a significant change to the face? I don't think there is. I think the teeth look a bit better, and the teeth aren't quite as wonky, on this one anyway, as on some of the older ones. But I think a big part of what changes the head is that whilst it's mostly similar, so if we look at this fella, whilst it's mostly similar, you can see the kind of the clearly defined cheekbones. You can see that line going down from the cheek down the side of the face. It's mostly actually pretty similar. The ears are maybe not quite as, maybe a bit better defined, actually. There's a bit more of a curve going on than the kind of flat surface at the top. I think the biggest change, really, is the fact that he actually has something of a forehead. A lot of the older Orks don't really have a forehead. They have, like, their eyes are at the top of their head, as exhibited by this fella. You've got this just almost like flat top to the head that starts just above the eyelids. And that's not the case with this one. He actually has a more, well, it actually looks like there might be a brain in there. Not a big brain, but a brain nonetheless. It's only, I think, a minor change, but it does actually, I think to me, change the shape of the face a little bit. I quite like it. I think it works well. There's not really anything here that I can complain about. I mean, the shooter still looks like a shooter. The armor plate still looks 100% orky. He's got the steel capped boots on there. The trousers are suitably ragged with a nice hole in them. He looks like an orc, but he just looks like a newer, fresher, more detailed, up-to-date orc, and I like that. I like it. Now, it's not just this guy though. They are going to show more off. They've said here's one of the new boys, and they're going to show us more in the next installment of Here We Go. They've also shown us some artwork of Mozrog and Big Chomper. So this is the great white squig, and that's the lad riding him. Artwork for a new character from the new codex, and I mean the artwork looks great. The squig looks terrifying. I like the fact that you can clearly see exhausts on one side of the giant squig, so I look forward to seeing what absolutely mental contraption it's got attached to one of its legs to make it run faster. That's going to be fun. I will say, look at the quality. Look at the quality of that, that bionic arm on that orc. That is not your bog standard. That is not your bog standard collection of random pipes and cogs to make a bionic arm. No, that's got some skill behind it. That's actually got some skill behind it. I'm looking forward to seeing the model for this guy, because, yeah, that's kind of fun. It also looks like he's being held onto said giant squig by some sort of strap that is plugged directly into his gut, which is metal, and he's got a metal rib cage with his skin pulled open. Kind of hardcore. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the actual model for this guy, because he looks solid. Looks like an absolute maniac. Anyway, just a quick one to let you know, Ork Boys are on the way. We'll get a decent look at them soon, hopefully, but in the meantime, I'm just happy. I'm just happy they're getting the attention. Frankly, that's pretty much it. Just happy they're getting the attention. What do you think of the new boy? Let me know in the comments down below. Love him, hate him? Think it's pretty much what you expected from an updated boy. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. And leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.